The widow's 3 coins in the quiet village of Eastwood, surrounded by rolling meadows and ancient oaks. There stood a monastery that had been the spiritual heart of the community for centuries. Its stone walls bore the marks of time, and its bell tower once carried a voice that united the lives of the villagers. That voice belonged to the great bell. Hung high above the abbey courtyard, it had long guided the rhythms of daily life. Farmers led their oxen to the fields at its morning chime, children returned home at its dusk toll, and elders lit candles in prayer when its deep vibration rolled across the valley. The villagers believed its sound carried prayers to heaven and soothed the restless spirits that wandered the earth, but age spares nothing. The bell, battered by storms, cracked and silent, now gave only a dull thud when struck. To the villagers, the silence was unsettling. Without the bell, it felt as though the abbey itself had lost its breath. Abbot Gregory, the wise and gentle leader of Eastwood Abbey, gathered the townsfolk. "The heart of our monastery must live again," he said. "We will cast a new bell stronger, purer, whose voice will carry our prayers for generations. But such a bell cannot be forged by monks alone. It must be born of the devotion of all." At the abbey gates, he placed a wooden board on which the names of benefactors would be inscribed. Whoever gave, whether great or small, would be remembered. Word spread quickly, and it soon reached Lord Richard Harlow, the wealthiest landowner in the region. His barns overflowed with grain, his coffers brimmed with silver and gold, and his stables housed the finest horses. Yet greater than his riches was his hunger for renown. "This is my chance," he thought. "If I give more than anyone else, my name will shine for centuries, carved into bronze, for all to see." So he arranged a grand spectacle. On the appointed day, he arrived at Eastwood Abbey with wagons laden with chests of gold. Servants unfurled carpets and lit torches. Drummers summoned the villagers to witness his gift. When all had gathered, Lord Harlow stepped forward with theatrical solemnity. "Reverend Abbot," he cried, "I, Richard Harlow, devote 100 bars of gold to the casting of the new bell. Let my name be inscribed in the most honoured place, that my devotion may be remembered forever." The villagers gasped. Never had such wealth been displayed in their valley. Whispers rose. "Surely he is a man of great faith. Heaven will bless his children's children." The abbot bowed politely. "May the merit of your offering return to you in countless ways." And the scribes carved Harlow's name at the top of the donor's board. That evening, lanterns burned bright, and villagers sang praises of Lord Harlow's generosity. But Abbot Gregory, though outwardly calm, felt a trace of unease. He had seen the pride in Harlow's eyes and knew that such a gift, though heavy in metal, was light in spirit. Several days later, long after the noise of the ceremony faded, another figure appeared at the abbey gates. It was Margaret, a poor widow who lived in a small cottage at the village edge. Her husband had drowned years ago in a flood, leaving her to survive by washing clothes for neighbors. Her back was bent from toil, her clothes patched and faded, her hands roughened by soap and water. That morning, she counted her savings. 3 small copper coins. It was all she had, enough for a loaf of bread to last her a day. She hesitated, then whispered to herself, "What is one day of food compared to a lifetime of faith? If even the poorest widow cannot give, then what worth is her life?" So she walked barefoot to the abbey. No one noticed her arrival. She knelt before the donation chest, pressed the coins to her forehead, and whispered a prayer. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she placed them gently inside. No music played. No scribe wrote her name. She rose and left in silence. But from the shadows of the abbey hall, Abbot Gregory had watched. His eyes softened, and he murmured, "Her gift is greater than gold." The day of casting came. The abbot had summoned master smiths from across the land, craftsmen who knew the ancient secrets of bronze. Furnaces roared, flames fed with coal and bellows. Gold, silver, and copper melted together, glowing white-hot like liquid suns. Villagers crowded around, waiting for the miracle. The smiths poured the molten metal into the mold. When it cooled, they broke it open, but the bell was flawed-cracked, brittle, unfit to ring. Its voice, when struck, was hollow. They tried again, pouring more metal, stoking the fires higher, chanting prayers as they worked. Once more, failure, the bell split, lifeless, again and again. Lord Harlow grew enraged. His face darkened, and he shouted, "Worthless fools! Do you squander my gold? Shall I have you whipped for this?" The smiths trembled, but Abbot Gregory raised his hand. His calm yet commanding voice silenced the crowd. "It is not the fault of the craftsmen. The flaw lies not in their hands, but in the spirit of the offering," the villagers murmured. The abbot's gaze swept the crowd. "A bell is not only metal," he said. "It is the heart of the abbey. For such a heart to be born, it must be bound by sincerity and compassion. Gold given for pride weighs little in spirit, and so it cannot form a living voice." But some days ago, a poor widow offered 3 copper coins. To her, those coins were life itself. Yet she gave them freely, without desire for recognition, only with faith. Her gift, though small, is greater than 100 bars of gold. The villagers gasped. They remembered Margaret, the washerwoman, who struggled to survive. Shame touched many faces, for they had cheered Harlow's wealth, but ignored the widow's sacrifice. The abbot called Margaret forward. Hesitant and bewildered, she stood before the people. With reverence, Gregory lifted her remaining 3 coins and held them high. "Let these be cast into the fire," he declared. "Let sincerity temper the metal of pride." The coins fell into the furnace, swallowed by the blaze. Once more, the smiths poured the glowing metal into the mold. This time, the air seemed charged with unseen power. When the mold was broken, the bell emerged, perfect, smooth, unblemished, radiant. Its surface gleamed as though kissed by dawn. The smiths struck it lightly. A sound rang out, deep and pure, rolling into the heavens. It soared over meadows and rivers, echoed through valleys and hills. Birds rose from the forests, farmers paused in their fields, travelers stopped in wonder on the road. The note was more than sound, it was peace, a voice that reached into hearts. The villagers wept. In its tone they felt forgiveness, comfort, and a strange tenderness, as though all the sorrow and devotion of countless lives had been poured into its bronze body. Abbot Gregory bowed his head. "The heart of the bell has awakened," he whispered. Lord Harlow's pride shattered. He fell to his knees before the abbot, the widow, and the people. "I sought glory," he confessed, "but I see now true merit lies not in wealth, but in sacrifice. Forgive my blindness." The abbot placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "The past is a shadow," he said softly. "What matters is awakening in this moment. May this lesson guide your life." When the bell was consecrated, the names of donors were carved into its surface. Lord Harlow's name was there, for his gold had built the body of the bell. But in the most honored place, larger than all the rest, was inscribed. From then on, whenever the bell tolled, villagers remembered Margaret. Parents told the tale to children. Monks passed it to disciples. Travelers carried it across kingdoms. And so the lesson endured. The value of giving lies not in how much is offered, but in the sincerity of the heart. A humble gift, given with love, outweighs riches given for pride. For centuries, the bell of Eastwood rang, its voice carrying the memory of a widow who gave everything, and the eternal truth that compassion is the greatest wealth of all. Every story is a seed. When we plant them together, the world will bloom. Please subscribe and share this story to help us plant more seeds of love and hope.